Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings, beautiful souls. It's your cosmic brother, Asafo, BMP. I'm with my brethren.
Hey, it's your boy Jify, BMP, holding it down. What's good, y'all?
Yes. This is Free Thinkers Nation Radio. You are now in tune to the higher vibes. Jify, let them know what today's topic is.
Most certainly. Today's topic is self-employment. And every entrepreneur knows about that, because self-employment is the best employment.
Exactly. Yes, as you heard, today's topic is self-employment. Now, this is a topic that me and the brethren are really passionate about. It's something we practice. And the reason we chose it is because if you look back, everyone through time, that there was days where there wasn't such things as jobs. You know what I'm saying? People supported themselves. They supported their family, whether it was with farms, trades, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. Now we're in an era where, of course, you have jobs and stuff like that. So the ones who are self-employed from, what we see and from what I see are definitely the ones who make it far. I mean, we can give you a zillion examples, like, you know what I'm saying? I bet you can give a couple of examples of this.
Yeah, there's so many people that are self-employed, from people like Jay-Z,
yep,
people like Beyonce, people like Rihanna, to people, outside of that, people who do their own thing, like Carmelo Anthony. He might be a part of the NBA, but people don't know he has his own record label, his own entertainment. Yeah, Crossover Records. People like T. Harv Eker, Marcus Garvey was self-employed. Mensa Musa was self-employed. List can go on for years.
That's so true. Yeah, and another thing is really, like, self-employed is all about empowering the self. You know what I'm saying? You build your own dream. You don't work for someone else's. You build your own dream, which is something that is very important, because we all know, at least I hope we all know, we all came here with our own specific purpose, our specific vision of what we wanted to do. So when you practice self-employment, you're really practicing what it is you came here to do. You know what I'm saying? Even as musicians, like you mentioned it too, Jif, like they're all self-employed. They all work for themselves. Some of them may be under a contract with the company, like a record label, but I mean, generally they work for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true. And even with those, to get technical, artists are nothing more than independent contractors if they sign to a label, because they're not considered employees. They're considered artists. And after that contract is up, then they're free to go. So even with that, they're still independent and, self-employed.
Absolutely. And we have a special guest speaking on artists. Our special guest is a sister from the Boston area. Her name is Elle Gomes. I think that's how you pronounce it. But she's like I said, an artist coming from the Boston area. Her style is so smooth. I remember hearing her music on her SoundCloud a minute ago, and I was like, yeah, this is tight. I was digging it, so I was like, we definitely got to have her on the show. You know what I'm saying? And I showed you just her website, and you know, it's official. You feel me?
Yeah, I did. I was blown away because, you know, you don't hear. First of all, you know, you don't hear too many women artists coming out of Boston, and then on top of that, you don't hear any smooth women artists coming out. So I was like, wow, you know, that is unique. And the website was official. I was like, okay, you know, this person is serious. She's serious.
Exactly. And I mean, another thing that I like is it's from the Boston area. You know, Boston's very quiet in terms of musicians. Well, I shouldn't say musicians, in terms of artists. You know what I'm saying? Usually you hear them come out from where you at, all the way in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So just to have someone come out from Boston, you know what I'm saying, completely unique, it really makes one wonder, like, damn, this generation to come, our generation, definitely coming out with a lot of originality, creativity. You know what I'm saying? To set them apart from a lot of the others. You feel me?
That's so true. And just like how it intertwines with today's topic.
Not to cut you off, Jeff, but it looks like our caller is today. Ella?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're great.
Good.
We were actually just talking about how, you know, you're an upcoming artist out of the Boston area. We were just bragging about you, how your music's so smooth and all that.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. But just to get right into this interview, let's jump right into it. Basically, what has influenced you to be into music? Like, what would you say drive you to want to do music?
Well, it was kind of a little bit of a part of my culture. Just growing up, my dad's a musician, so I always had that, you know, in my house, and it was just something that I could, you know, always go to. Felt like music was something I could confide in, and that it was just always a great part of my childhood, and I had so much fun doing so. And, yeah, so that's pretty much how I started. To be where I am now as a songwriter, my biggest inspiration is just, I always say there's such a lacking in the music industry for someone who genuinely cares, genuinely understands, and just sincerely wants to tell the story of the people, whether that's a love song, whether that's, you know, a song about world peace, whether that's about self-conflict, anything regarding society and different lifestyles. I love to represent through my music, so that's really what drives me as a songwriter.
Wow, that's powerful. It's very
Thank
powerful.
you.
So you said this is something you went into your culture. What exact culture are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Cape Verdean culture. Both of my parents are from the Cape Verde Islands, and they moved to the United States in the 70s. So our culture is very thick, and my parents, especially my father, is very embedded, particularly because he's a guitarist and a vocalist as well, composer, arranger. So he's, you know, in the Cape Verdean music culture.
That's beautiful. Wow, right off the coast of the continent, Cuba, huh?
Right.
That's cool. That's cool, too, how it's, you know, in your culture and in your family as well. You know, not too many people have that where their, you know, their parents are involved in it as well.
Absolutely. And my second question is, what exactly do you see yourself, like, what's your visions in terms of your music, your big goals of what you're looking to do?
Okay. Well, I'm a huge visionary, so that's the first thing is I come up with a vision. Of course, the more elaborate thing is making it come to fruition. But overall, I mean, I am a musician, and I'm going to be a musician for the rest of my life. Been a musician since the first day of my life, since I was born, It's just something that's really just in my blood and that I could never deny or neglect because it's always there. You know, I'll always wake up the next morning singing. I'll always be analyzing a song. I'm listening to it. I'll always find beauty in the way that the cello strings vibrate. It's just something that is always going to be part of me and that I really embrace. I see myself, of course, just doing more of the songwriting thing. I love being behind the scenes. I love working with different artists, different producers, just to be able to create a story that people can relate to, that people understand, and that they actually care about, and that really touches them. So I see myself working behind the scenes and continuing to do what I'm currently doing with other artists, but also writing for myself and representing my music and my story, which I might have in common with my audience. Well, hopefully I do have in common with my audience. So that's really what I see myself doing. And, of course, I'm going to continue teaching. That's what I do now is I teach piano lessons and general music to children full-time. So I love that as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. You want to expand on that a little bit? You said you teach piano. How'd you get into all of that?
Okay. So it's actually a little funny. So I started as a pianist when I was growing up. So we always had a keyboard in the house. My dad, as soon as we could, you know, make a fist, he had us sitting down at the keyboard. It was just something that he's very passionate about, of course. And he also taught music, so it was just something that he wanted us to all get a taste of. He was never pushy. He never forced us, you know, to pursue it. He wanted us to pursue what was natural and genuine for us in terms of our passions. And when I say us, I refer to my sisters and I. I have 3 sisters. So I chose to continue with the keyboard. And I've been playing piano, I'd say, since I was like 4 or 5. And now I teach. I don't really remember how I got into teaching. To be honest, teaching is something that if a musician, I would say a gigging or a recording musician, can do and they are passionate about and are serious about, I would recommend to do it because, first of all, you learn so much about yourself through teaching others. And I mean that in terms of your personality, in terms of your skill, in terms of your weaknesses, in terms of your passion, in terms of your patience. You learn so much about your individual self just by putting yourself in that situation and being a mentor, so to speak, to else. So that's one thing. Secondly, we have to be honest, the music industry is a little bit rocky. Oftentimes, depending on your path, it can be unsteady. And teaching is something that offers stability to a musician. And I feel like it's something that, and I'm not even just talking about financially, I'm talking about in terms of just having a schedule, you know, just having a set schedule every week. You know, you teach the same kids, you build these relationships with these kids and adults as well. And that's just something that's really crucial to have because, to be honest, as a performer, I would say, you know, my performance schedule is kind of crazy. It's really hectic. It's sporadic. It's random. Sometimes it's constant, but it's only constant for like a month. And then after that, it's like, yeah, I have a show on a Thursday, then the next Saturday, and then 2 Mondays after that. So it's a little bit difficult, you know, it's just hard to be constant with that. Unless, of course, you go through a booking agent who gives you a show on a specific day every week, and that's a different story. But, yes, so back to the teaching as I've gone off on a tangent as usual. I think it's just great, you know. Every musician who can teach should teach because I know there are some people who teaching is just not for them. But yes, that's one way that I have been able to maintain my identity as a full and not working outside of music is because I teach music as well.
Giving back to the youth. I like that. That's very powerful. Very powerful.
Thank you. Thanks. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for music education. I just genuinely believe that I owe it back to music education anyway. And a lot of artists that I know do feel the same way. So I'm glad that I'm able to do my part in that way.
Nice. And for our last question for this interview, you don't have to rush or anything. What would you describe to your listeners is what your music is? You were saying how there's a lack in the music industry of self-expression or whatever. Like, how would you describe what your music is to the listeners who are not familiar with your music yet?
Okay, that's a little bit difficult. That's like saying, how would you describe your face? Because in actuality, my music really, to me, it's just, I would say it's a different form of me. It's not a physical form. It's a more abstract form and a more abstract story of what it is that I live. And sometimes I write songs that aren't really for me or that I haven't experienced, but are just relatable. First and foremost, before I explain the sound, I guess, of my music, I'll just say I don't do it for me. Musicians who do music for themselves usually just, produce stuff and leave it on their computers and never release it to the world because it's irrelevant to everyone else if it only makes sense to you. So I do it for everyone. I do it for the world. That's the first thing that I can say. The reason that I say that is because a lot of my songs, they can be about different things, and it's not really a life that I've lived. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not from the hood, so to speak. So if I'm writing a song about a girl who has experiences in the hood, I'm not necessarily talking about me. I am a writer. I write about characters. I write about settings. I use imagery. It's just in a musical form. It's the same way as writing a short story. I just use lyrics instead of paragraphs. So that's the first part of that. But secondly, I would just say, I'm an acoustic musician, so I use acoustic instrumentation. I've never used a track, so I don't use digital production at all. I use all live instrumentation, a live band, so, the studio, we play all at the same time together in one take. That's how I record my music. Of course, it takes more than one take sometimes, but what I'm saying is that the song is all one take. We don't that's a technique used in, R&B or hip-hop when recording with a track. Sometimes you can choose to record just a section at a time to prepare for the next section and just to leave more space for accuracy. But when it comes to my music, I just don't do that because it's all about the interaction between musicians, and as the song goes on, I would say the dynamic builds. It's just a relationship and a bond between, the bass player and the drummer and the guitarist, the vocalist and everyone. So that's really my technique to audio recording. I don't plan on changing it, although my music is changing because I'm changing. I'm human. I don't plan on changing my technique or my sound, so to speak. For everyone who wants a summary of the music, I call it acoustic singer-songwriter with neo-soul and jazz influence. That's the easiest way that I've been able to summarize it. And it's really not as complicated as I'm making it seem. So I hope that when you all listen, you create your own definition for it. And don't let your imaginations be skewed by my categorizing it.
Indeed. Before we end off this, I know, right? Wow, right?
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
It's good.
Don't worry about it. before we end off this wonderful interview, would you like to tell the listeners where they can catch you at, your website, where they can holler at you out, and any shout-outs you want to make?
Of course. Well, again, I'm Elle Gomes. It is spelled like LELLEGOMES.com. I am Elle Gomes on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on SoundCloud, on Tumblr, everywhere, pretty much. It's me. That's me. And, yeah, you can download Acoustic Movement off of ellegomes.bandcamp.com. If you don't remember that, don't worry, because it's on my website anyway. So Acoustic Movement was released in August, and I have a new project that is coming out in spring. So you can stay tuned for that as well. Yeah.
Yes, you heard her. Stay tuned for a future project. Thank you so much, Ellie, for joining us on this interview.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You too.
Here she is, Elle Gomes, Your Embrace. Stay tuned.
Saturday night, I'm home alone. I can't think of his arms around me and seeing your face where you should be. I can't go celebrate, 'cause every word that my day says, I hear your voice, the things that you told me, the way that you love me, how you used to hold me. Everything that I threw away, I cannot replace your face. Nothing compares to your embrace. Nothing compares, nothing feels the way. Take my heart, boy, 'cause you got the key. If you're not mine, it's worthless to me. Worthless to me. Worthless to me. I look at the spaces in between my fingers, and I remember how yours used to fit perfectly. So perfectly. Now my hands are cold, my heart is empty. How we used to breathe, you inhaled in sync with me.
smooth as usual.
Yes, hella smooth. It's mad funny because when I was listening to it, I was like, yo, I swear there's like, I mean, for me, from what I'm, of course, attracting, I haven't really came upon a lot of young artists who are going into that realm. You know what I'm saying? It's just good that there's a lot of creativity and originality still out there. You know what I'm saying? It always brings me to high hopes for the generations to come. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear that. I definitely hear that. I'm just, the same as you said, just surprised and got a feeling of hope. That people still use real instruments and such to make music.
Yes.
Because everybody's trying to go digital and make some, just some quick stuff. But it's really good to hear, that classic music, that Bob Marley type music where the band plays and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, the natural musicians. And that all comes back to today's topic, of course, self-employment. Of course, the young sister, with that career is obviously self-employment, working for the self. You know what I'm saying? You can tie that into as many things as you can. So it's really something where it's the most empowering thing to do. I mean, I remember you were telling me just about 50, like we were conversating about him earlier today, how it's really about whoever is on that vibe with you is gonna be with you to wherever you reach, but for the ones who don't, they're gonna somehow disappear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like you're always mentioning, everything in life is a vibration. So either you're vibrating on the same level or you're tuned into a lower vibration or a higher vibration. Just like go from 94.5 or you can go to 97.7 or you can go to 106.7.
Exactly. And we should, for this part of the show, we got some amazing updates with the site and with everything in general. Jif, you should let them know on some updates as we end off our wonderful show.
Yeah, updates coming to the site as usual, always upgrading in terms of content, display, updating on the brother Mensa Smooth's new story coming up. That's as well upgrading, soon going to be on the site. Surge's collections drawing soon as well. What else? New blogs coming as well. Videos uploaded on YouTube as well. So a lot of things. Progression.
Yes. And as you said, the new blogs, we already got the homie Jify. He got his blog, Become Active. Check that out. Mensa Smooth just made a new blog on Toussaint Louverture. Check that out, you know what I'm saying? Sac Passe to my Zos, 509, you know what I'm saying? Stand up, Leveno, because you already know, Acubalin. And thank you, all you listeners, for listening. We love you. 13 love. Good night. Bon nuit.
13 respect. Don't forget to get that knowledge. Self-education is the best education, and self-employment is the best employment.
Yes, 13. Unity.
Peace and love.
Power. Wisdom.
Knowledge.
Spirituality.
Health. Wealth.
Your health is
know thyself.
Hotep. 13, 13, 13.